What if I told you that one of NASCAR's greatest champions died from something he saw coming, but couldn't stop? Let's dive back into time and explore his last 10 days timeline from May 10 to May 20. May 10th, Kyle Busch wakes up with a sinus cold. May 15th, 5 days later, he wins a race and says something prophetic. You never know when the last one is gonna be, so cherish them all. Trust me. 6 days later, Kyle Busch would be gone. This is the 10-day timeline that explains what really killed him. On May 10th, 2026, Kyle Busch showed up to race at Watkins Glen International. Fox Sports broadcast confirmed Kyle Busch has been dealing with a sinus cold all week, not just that morning, all week. He was racing one of the most physically demanding tracks while his body fought a viral infection. During the race, Kyle radioed his crew, "Can somebody find Bill Heisel? He's the Hendrick doctor guy. I'm gonna need a shot." He was asking for medical help during an active race. His body was already failing. Kyle Busch finished 8th place while his lungs were filling with fluid. What appeared to the world as toughness was actually a race against his own immune system, and his immune system was already losing. 5 days have passed, Kyle's body is deteriorating. And on day 6, he does something absolutely nobody expected. He wins. May 15th, 2026, Dover Motor Speedway, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Kyle Busch crossed the finish line first, victory lane, trophy in hand. But listen to his post-race words. You can kind of hear it. "I'm still not great." But the cough was pretty substantial last week. His respiratory system was compromised. The cough was worse, not better. The pneumonia was progressing, not retreating. But he won. And when Kyle Busch wins, everyone assumes he's fine. Medical teams saw victory. Doctors saw winning performance. Nobody intervened because the victory masked the medical emergency happening inside his body. Then came the words that now haunt everyone. "You take whatever you can get, man. You never know when the last one's gonna be, so cherish them all." Trust me, he was prophesying his own death 6 days before it happened. Asterisk. And that's exactly what makes this story so important. At NASCAR Racing Central, we don't shy away from difficult truths that shape our sport. We're just 500 subscribers away from a major milestone. If you appreciate investigative NASCAR storytelling that goes beyond, subscribe, like this video, and share it with other fans. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next. By May 17th, Kyle had been fighting this virus for a full week, 7 days of deterioration. His lungs were filling with fluid. Busch showed up for the NASCAR All-Star race. He finished 17th, one of his poorest performances of the season. This was his final NASCAR race ever. Nobody knew it. Brad Keselowski, his fiercest competitor, later recalled, "But when he ran the truck race last week, those thoughts were honestly kind of erased in my mind. Even other drivers could sense something was catastrophically wrong. But they second-guessed themselves because Kyle Busch doesn't get sick. Kyle Busch doesn't lose." Except he wasn't indestructible. May 18th and 19th, the missing days, Kyle Busch isn't racing. No public appearances. What is he doing? Fighting. His body is in full-scale war with itself. The pneumonia has taken complete control of his lungs. His immune system is spiraling out of control. Early sepsis inflammation is developing. We don't know what happened during these 48 hours. The Busch family never released details. But his body was deteriorating rapidly, and nobody was intervening. On Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, Kyle Busch headed to the GM Charlotte Technical Center in Concord, North Carolina, to test in a Chevrolet racing simulator. Late that afternoon, everything fell apart. An unidentified caller dialed 911. The dispatcher heard, "I've got an individual that's shortness of breath, very hot, thinks he's going to pass out. And he's producing a little bit of blood, coughing up some blood. He's awake. He's on the bathroom floor right now." Kyle Busch, two-time Cup Series champion with 234 race wins, was lying on a bathroom floor, unable to stand, coughing up blood. The symptoms were unmistakable signs of advanced sepsis: shortness of breath, respiratory failure beginning, extreme fever, immune system in overload, coughing up blood, loss of consciousness, organ failure. Pneumonia had evolved into sepsis. His immune system was attacking his own body. Blood vessels were rupturing. Organs were shutting down. This wasn't a process that takes days, this takes hours. Kyle was transported to a hospital in Charlotte. The NASCAR community waited for updates, not understanding that something irreversible had just occurred. Thursday, May 21st, 2026, Kyle Busch is in a hospital bed in Charlotte. The family statement revealed the medical nightmare. The medical evaluation provided to the Busch family concluded that severe pneumonia progressed into sepsis, resulting in rapid and overwhelming associated complications. Sepsis is when the body's response to infection causes more damage than the infection itself. Immune system releases chemicals that damage blood vessels. Blood vessels leak. Blood pressure drops. Organs stop functioning. The spiral becomes unstoppable. According to the Sepsis Alliance, sepsis kills more people globally every year than cancer, AIDS, and malaria combined. Approximately 13 million deaths annually. It can progress from manageable to fatal in hours. Kyle had roughly 24 hours from the 911 call to the end. The Busch family, Richard Childress Racing, and NASCAR are devastated to announce the sudden and tragic passing of Kyle, age 41. From final victory, May 15 to death, May 21, 6 days. The shock reverberated through NASCAR instantly. On Sunday, May 23, 2026, the Coca-Cola 600 race continued as scheduled at Charlotte Motor Speedway. On lap 8, his car number, the entire track went silent. Over 40,000 fans held up 8 fingers in tribute. The broadcast went quiet. Kyle's wife Samantha was at the track, their son Brexton, 11 years old. Their daughter Lennox, only 4. The number 8 car was permanently retired. Richard Childress Racing announced it would never be driven again. Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, wrote, "Kyle pushed all of us to be better. His passion, intensity, and love for racing were unmatched. Could Kyle Busch have been saved?" Medical experts say if he had stopped racing on May 10th, pneumonia might have been managed. His immune system could have recovered. If he had gone to intensive care on May 15th, when the cough was pretty substantial, early sepsis intervention could have changed everything. Early recognition, rapid treatment, these factors determine survival. But Kyle didn't get early intervention. His body screamed for help, and the culture of NASCAR, built on toughness, on racing through pain, silenced those screams. Even other drivers saw something was wrong. Brad Keselowski's quote reveals a deeper tragedy. They second-guess themselves because Kyle Busch doesn't get sick. Kyle Busch wins races while sick. Kyle Busch is superhuman. The culture that made Kyle legendary also killed him. Kyle's final words now haunt everyone. You never know when the last one is going to be. So cherish them all, trust me. His body was already warning him. His lungs were deteriorating. And he was telling us, without knowing it, that the end was closer than anyone realized. Yet he continued racing anyway. That's who Kyle Busch was, a competitor until the very final moment. Kyle Busch was 234 wins, he was 2 championships. He was nearly 2 decades of storylines that made NASCAR matter. But now, many will remember May 20th, 2026, the day a sinus cold became pneumonia. Pneumonia became sepsis, and sepsis became tragedy. If you've watched this far, you understand why this story matters. It's not just about one driver. It's about the culture of a sport, it's about pushing through pain, it's about knowing when to stop. That's why we do this at NASCAR Racing Central. We tell stories that matter, we ask hard questions. We don't settle for surface coverage. Please comment below. What does Kyle Busch's legacy mean to you? Love him or hate him, his story shaped NASCAR. Share your thoughts. And share this video with other fans who deserve to know the full truth of what happened. We're almost at 500 subscribers. Help us get there so we can keep bringing you investigative NASCAR journalism that actually matters.